Curtis and Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. 256-245-4361. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. Funeral service for June Winters, age 83 of Sylacauga, will be today at First Presbyterian Church beginning at 11 a.m. The Reverends Charles Sims and Jeff Adams officiating. Burial in the Evergreen Memorial Cemetery. Mrs. Winters died on Monday, January 22nd at her residence. In lieu of flowers, donation can be made to the Presbyterian Home for Children. Online condolences at CurtisandSonFH.com. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, North Chapel directing. Mr. William Hardy, age 68 of Harpersville, funeral service today at the Childersburg Chapel of Curtis and Son Funeral Home. For more information, you can call Curtis and Son Funeral Home 256-245-4361. Celebration of Life service for Mrs. Margaret McCarthy will be Saturday at 1 o'clock at Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Childersburg Chapel. And visitation on Saturday from 11:30 until 1, also at the Childersburg Chapel. Curtis and Son Funeral Home directing. Mrs. Ruby Ingram, age 70, died in Houston, Texas on Monday. Curtis and Son Funeral Home will announce the arrangements. In other obituary news this morning, Celia Lightfoot Cooley died January 23rd. Graveside service will be Saturday at 11 o'clock from Alexander City Cemetery. Reverend Mike Densmore officiating. The family will receive friends Saturday, 9:30 until 10:30 at the funeral home. In lieu of flowers, the family requests that contribution be made to the First United Methodist Church or to Children's Harbor. Radney Funeral Home in charge of the arrangements. Funeral service for Mr. Ronnie Martin, age 62, will be today at 11 a.m. from Armour's Memorial Chapel in Alexander City. Mr. Martin died January 20th at Lake Martin Community Hospital. Armour's Memorial Funeral Home directing. Funeral service for Mrs. Nancy Riley Nixon is today at Ursery Funeral Home Chapel in Talladega at 1:30, with burial to follow in the Eureka United Methodist Church Cemetery. Visitation prior to the service today, 12:30 until 1:30. Ursery Funeral Home, Talladega, in charge of the arrangements. Martha Oden, age 69, died January 24th. Community Funeral Home announcing. In other obituary news this morning, funeral service for Mrs. Carolyn Jones, age 58, will be today at 2:30 from the chapel of Radney Funeral Home. Randy Anderson officiating. Burial in the Hackneyville Cemetery. The family receiving friends today, 12:30 to 2 o'clock at the funeral home, Radney Funeral Home, Alexander City, in charge of the arrangements. Mr. Terry Kelly, age 70 of Goodwater, died Thursday at Russell Medical Center. Armour's Memorial Funeral Home will announce the arrangements. Regina Wallace died January 24th. Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary will announce the funeral arrangements at a later date. Funeral service for Quincy L. Morris Sr., age 77, is Saturday at 2 o'clock from Anniston Funeral Service Outreach Ministry. That'll be in the Russell H. Williams Memorial Chapel. Reverend Ted Chapman will officiate. Interment in the Jennifer Cemetery. Mr. Morris died January 20th. Anniston Funeral Service in charge of the arrangements. And Gabby Bussey died yesterday, and that was at Village of Cook Springs in Pell City. Curtis and Son Funeral Home will announce the funeral arrangements. These obituaries brought to you by Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg.